Lately, it's felt like your life quietly fell apart, and somehow no one else can see it. On the outside, you still look functional. You reply to messages. You show up where you're supposed to. You nod, you smile, you say, "Yeah, I'm fine." But inside, the meaning has drained out of almost everything. The things that used to give your life a sense of direction, they feel thin now, forced, almost fake. People around you don't get it. They say things like, "Everyone feels lost sometimes. You're overthinking it. You just need a new hobby. Be positive. It can't be that bad." And a quiet belief forms in you. If my life looks okay on paper but feels empty inside, then I must be the problem. Maybe I'm broken. Maybe I'm just depressed for no reason. If that's you, stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 clear signs. You're in a real dark night of the soul, and 3 ways to move through it without losing yourself. By the end, I want you to see that this collapse you're in right now might not be the end of your life story, but the moment your real life begins. The usual story is, you're failing at life. The deeper truth is almost the opposite. Your old life is ending. Your old self is dying, and something truer is trying to be born. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are not too negative for no reason. You're moving through what mystics and teachers have called the dark night of the soul. You are in what I call the dark night phase. It's a phase where the meaning your mind built for your life stops working. The goals you chased, the roles you played, the person you thought you had to be. That whole inner structure starts to crumble. From the outside, it can look like depression, low energy, no motivation, no excitement. Inside, it's more like this. The universe has quietly taken a sledgehammer to a fake wall in your life. You're not losing your mind. You're losing an identity that was too small for you. It's like you're standing in a hallway between 2 lives. Behind you, the old doors are closing. You try to go back, but they don't open anymore. Ahead of you, the new doors haven't appeared yet. There's one reason this hallway feels so brutal that almost no one talks about. Your mind wants answers, now. But your soul has moved into a place where old answers can't follow. This is not just a mood, it's a system reboot. Imagine your sense of self as the operating system of a computer. Most people get by with small updates. A new job here, a new relationship there, a few small tweaks to old beliefs. You hit a point where tiny updates don't work anymore. The whole operating system freezes. The screen goes dark. Your deeper self says, "We can't keep running the old program. We have to rewrite the code." So the system shuts down. That shutdown feels like, I don't recognize myself. I don't know what my life is about anymore. Nothing feels real. But underneath, something profound is happening. Your mind-made meaning, built from conditioning, culture, and ego, is collapsing so a deeper, quieter meaning can emerge. A sense of self and purpose that isn't just ideas and labels, but a living connection to something larger than me and my story. Let's talk about 3 signs. You're in the dark night phase, and the hidden strength inside each one. Sign 1. You've become allergic to pretending. You used to be able to force yourself through the old story. This career is fine. This relationship is fine. This version of me is fine. Now, every time you try to wear that old identity, it feels like borrowed clothing. Too tight, wrong color. You can still go through the motions. But inside something whispers, this isn't you anymore. The pain here is real. You feel guilty for not caring about the things you're supposed to care about. You worry you've become lazy, ungrateful, or broken. But here's the hidden strength. Your system refuses to let you build your life on a lie anymore. The dark night phase burns away, fake meaning. It doesn't let you go back to autopilot. That's not failure. That's integrity waking up. Sign 2. Silence feels loud, and stillness feels like pressure. When your old meaning structure collapses, your mind has fewer stories to hide in. So you sit alone in your room or lie in bed at night, and suddenly there is this huge, echoing space inside you. You might cry out of nowhere. You might feel hollow in your chest. You might feel like you're falling, even when you're lying still. It's intense. It can be scary. And sometimes, yes, it overlaps with real clinical depression. If you're at a point where you're thinking about harming yourself, or you feel like you're losing the ability to function, please reach out for support, therapy, a trusted person, professional help. That is not a spiritual failure. That is self-respect. But here's the deeper reframe almost no one gives you. What if this silence is not an empty void, but a womb? The pressure you feel in stillness is your soul rewiring itself. Your brain is letting go of rigid meanings. This is who I am. This is what life is. This is how it always has to be. Those old certainties are dissolving. New ones haven't formed yet. You are in the raw space in between. Painful? Yes. But this space is where new, living meaning can finally grow. Not the meaning you were given, but the meaning that actually fits your soul. Right here, I want to pause and ask you something. If this is describing you a little too accurately, tell me in the comments. I'm in the hallway. You'll see how many people are quietly standing in this same place, between who they were and who they're becoming. Sign 3. You're shedding people, places, and pleasures. And it feels like losing everything. Maybe old friends drift away. Conversations that used to excite you now feel shallow. You scroll through the same apps, the same habits, and feel flat. It can feel like you're disappearing from your own life, like you're disconnecting from the world itself. But look deeper. You're not losing friends. You're losing mirrors that only reflected who you used to be. You're not disconnected from life. You're disconnecting from the frequency that kept you small. There's a reason all the old things suddenly feel wrong. Your soul is rejecting anything that cannot come with you into the next level of your life. That's why the old pleasures don't land. That's why forcing yourself back into your old life feels almost painful. You are being weaned off a version of reality that was never truly yours. So why does life design something this brutal at all? Why allow some people to hit this level of collapse? Here's the deeper function. In every time, in every culture, there are people whose job is to question the story. Most are meant to keep the world running, build, maintain, repeat. But some are wired to feel the cracks in the story, to sense when a way of living has become hollow, to carry the ache of, this can't be all there is. You are one of those people. The dark night phase is what happens when the story you inherited and the truth your soul knows finally collide. Your collapse of meaning is not a glitch in humanity. It's one of the ways humanity updates itself. Because on the other side of this, you don't just go back to sleep. You move through life with a quieter ego, deeper compassion, and a strange, grounded freedom. You become the person others come to when their story begins to crack. But here's the catch. The modern world is a terrible place to go through a dark night. Our culture is built for speed, distraction, and performance. You're expected to always know your 5-year plan, always be adding value, always stay busy enough to never feel what's underneath. For a nervous system like yours, That's like running high-voltage electricity through a delicate instrument. So when your system finally collapses, the world doesn't say, you're in a sacred transition. It says, you're unproductive. You're too sensitive. You're falling behind. Remember this: you versus the world is a mismatch of design versus environment, not a personal defect. You are not built for endless noise. You are built for depth. Think of it like this. Most people are like summer flowers. They sprout quickly, bloom fast, live in the light, and fade within a season. You are more like a tree in winter. From the outside, winter looks like death. Bare branches, no leaves, no obvious growth. But underground, the roots are going deeper. The tree is conserving energy, strengthening its core, preparing for a kind of life that lasts decades, not months. The dark night phase is your winter. You are not less alive than the flowers. You are just in a different chapter of growth. And this is where most people get stuck for years, because they miss one simple shift. So what do you do in this phase? First, stop trying to erase the phase itself. Your job is not to force yourself back into the costume of always fine. Your job is to recognize, I am in the dark night phase. My old self is dying. A deeper self is forming. Naming it takes away the shame. Second, protect your system. Treat this like soul rehab, not laziness. Say no more often. Lower the bar on performance. Give yourself small, stable routines. Sleep, simple food, gentle movement. Your brain and body heal better in predictable, low-noise conditions. Third, give your inner winter something to root into. A few minutes of stillness each day, just feeling your breath, your body, the sensation of being here, without trying to solve your entire life in your head. Journaling what feels true right now, instead of demanding, what is my ultimate purpose? Simple, honest presence feeds the part of you that's being born. Fourth, delay big conclusions. In a dark night, your mind loves to say, my life is over. I'll never feel joy again. I've ruined everything. These are winter thoughts trying to predict spring. You wouldn't look at a January forest and say, clearly nothing will ever grow here again. Don't do that to your own soul. So when someone says, you've changed, you're distant, you're not yourself lately, pause. Instead of collapsing into, yeah, I'm broken. Remember the deeper truth. You are in the dark night phase. You are between selves, between stories, between destinies. Your ego identity is dying, but nothing real in you is actually dying. What's dying is the mask. What's being born is the one who was always underneath. You are not failing. You are a soul in winter, a life between lives, a heart whose old meaning has collapsed so a deeper, wordless meaning can finally emerge. And when, almost imperceptibly, the new life begins to glow behind your ribs. When one morning you wake up and feel even a tiny spark of, this rings true, or I could try this, honor that. That's your spring.